Our stories, our voice, our history hasn't always been welcomed. But we learned long ago that if America won't celebrate us, then we will celebrate our own, told our way, on our time. Today we have thousands of Black creators in film. Thousands of books are on the shelves of stores around the world. But it wasn't always as easy. For Lena, for Hattie, for James, for Zora, for Langston, we fought for a place in American history, and we've empowered our own voices, keeping our stories alive. Remember Philando, remember Mike, remember Trayvon, remember Sandra, remember Oscar, remember Brianna. No more will Black voices go unheard. No more will Black stories go unread. We will write our own history and create our own legacies. And each summer in Atlanta, we will gather. We will celebrate. We speak out. Black voices matter. Black stories matter. Black lives matter. Everybody has a story to tell. Make sure that you tell yours. Create your story. Dream out loud.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Conversation by AAMBC The Inc. We are so excited today to have Kai Williams. She is a fiction author. She is a writing coach. She is an editor. She is a publisher. She is a CEO. She is a line woman. She is everything. Okay. She's a mommy, a wife. We are really proud to have her today. And I'm excited to introduce you to her and let you meet her for herself. Thank you, Kai.
Hi. Hey, everybody.
How are you? So tell us a little bit before, because I know, of course.
Right.
But I would like for you, obviously, to tell everyone a little bit about who you are, what you do exactly, and just a little bit about your why.
I do it all because I love to write.
Love it.
So everything that I do has goes back to writing. Um, as far as books go and becoming an author, that was a long time coming. I've always wanted to do that. I've always written. Writing has been my therapy since I was a child.
Mhm.
My mother was an English teacher, so writing was always something that I did just to do. Um, I think the why was sanity. It gave me peace
Yes.
just to let it morph into what I do as a business.
Yes. That sounds amazing. So tell us a little bit about what you've done with this writing passion and this writing skill that you have. What have you created? Tell us about your platforms.
Okay, well, first of all, as an author, I've written 2 books and working on the third. My series is I Am My Sister's Keeper. The first book came out in 2018. That one is entitled I Am My Sister's Keeper. And the sequel, His Eyes Are Watching, was published and released. Working on the finishing touches with the third book, which is called Dead or Alive, A Fall from Grace. And that one will be released late winter 2022.
Nice. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. First of all, I love authors who draft series because that's a whole different level. You know what I'm saying? No taking nothing away from single book authors, of course,
Mhm.
but just to write a series in general is just so monumental. It's like you're really stretching the story and just developing and just carrying the readers and the supporters. And I love that because I think it's nothing more than what we hate that we hate more than like a
Mhm.
good book that ends. It's like, no, but what happens next? So definitely.
I never like it to end. As well as the reader, I always want more, and
Mhm.
I probably say that a lot when I leave reviews. That means I really liked the book. But for
Yeah.
myself as a writer, honestly, you start to fall in love with your characters, and you're not ready for them to just lay down. So
Yeah.
you
That's
end
so
up coming up
funny.
with more stories. So I have said that the third book is the last book in this series, but I say that loosely because I'm
Yes.
already feeling
I know
more
that's right.
story
Come
coming
on with it.
out of it.
Yes, the culture needs it. It needs it. So that's awesome. And we're definitely excited. The Color Queen said, go girl. I know that's right.
Thank you.
So Yes. So tell us a little bit about your writing and publishing process. How did you, get started with writing the first one? What was that planning process like? And also, how did you publish and why?
Um, so with the first one, regarding the series, with the first one, I literally wrote it before I made the decision to move forward with publishing it completely. It
Wow.
was almost just like a thought in the back of my mind, but I was just pushing myself to finally push that first fiction book baby out.
Mm-hmm.
And once it got to the point where it was done, then I went back to it, and I had a second set of eyes. We did another editing spiel with it. And then I decided that I wanted to publish it myself. I didn't want to send it anywhere, go through the traditional realm of publishing. I had been probably following and looking at a lot of different indie authors for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
I decided that I kind of wanted to be, no, not I kind of, I definitely wanted to be in control of my story and what I wanted to put out. And I would rather work towards marketing my work and finding an audience that is for me than just sending my script to a publishing house and hoping they pick it up. And if not, when it just sits cold. So I just wanted to
Yes.
take ownership of getting my story out. So that's kind of how it happened. Um, and
Awesome.
then with the first one, it was a learning process where I learned a little bit more about, what I should do different the next time. And I talked to a couple indie authors again after I had done it to get their point of view on it. And I just think having people that are like minded and in the realm of doing what it is you're trying to do is very helpful because it can deter you from making simple mistakes that they've already made. So
Mm-hmm.
in that, I'm grateful for the people that were able to be there for me and support me with that. So I just grown with each one. And with the business, with Bleeding Ink, it is, I call it a creative haven because my goal with the company altogether was to provide a space where I could support independent authors and give them the tools and all the information and whatever I had learned along the way. So as I keep growing, I want other people that are interested in doing it for themselves to grow as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where that baby was born.
Gotcha. And so what has that process been like for you? Because I know just knowing you also personally, I know that you are an extreme giver and you're always passionate about the work at hand. So I know it's tough, just finding balance between pushing your own narratives and helping others. But I love that call it a haven because that gives people the impression and the perception that this is a welcoming space and that you do want to help. So how has that been like helping people with their projects?
Um, I think one of the main things that I offer is that I don't want ownership of your product.
Yes.
What I want to help you do is get to the point where you can do it on your own
Mm-hmm.
because what I'm providing is what was given to me. So
Yes.
while it is a service that, I would be paid for, I'm still giving you the tools to move forward and maybe not need someone else the next time or be able to do more for yourself. So for me, that's my part of giving back in this side of it,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to also morph into providing a platform of exposure, giving them or other artists, creatives that are in the writing world a space to share their work, which is,
Absolutely.
where the OVP Ocean View Promotions came from, and now the OVP Journal that we're working on. So there's a lot that I'm adding to the Bleeding Ink umbrella.
Yes, yes, we love it. It's kind of like your book series, it keeps
Mhm.
it keeps growing and growing. So that's great. Tell us a little bit about the actual storyline. What can we look forward to in the I Am My Sister's Keeper series? And where did that kind of plot come from as far as your inspiration?
My inspiration comes from growing up as an only child,
Okay.
and I had sister friends in my life that I could be thankful and grateful for, and I've seen some of those friends with their blood siblings. So when I created the storyline, my goal was to provide a space where women could actually be there for one another, despite their backgrounds, despite the differences. They're there for each other no matter what, through the test of time, ebbs and flows. Two of the sisters in my series are blood related, and the other two are sisters in life. And through all of the drama, love, lies, betrayal, murder, there's a lot going on in there. Through all of them, at the end of every day, those four women are always on the same page, meaning they're always going to have each other's back. So what I liked about moving forward with that was continuing to break down the premise that we women cannot work together.
I love that.
Whether it's professionally or socially, it can happen.
Yes, I love that. And I love, literature that stands for that as well, because it's permanent. You know what I mean? And that's what I just love about the author world in general, is that once you create that project and you manifest that story and you make it a real book and a real thing and a real storyline, it has now become permanent. And so even beyond your lifespan, you know what I'm saying, you're able to pass down those blessings and those perspectives to people that you don't even know, and it's just, it's such an amazing space to be in. So how, and without giving us spoilers, how does the series develop? So like, what kind of direction are we going in with the series? Like, is it the ladies getting older and kind of shifting into different kind of realm, or how what can we look forward to, like, with the series growth?
Okay, so with the transition from the first to the second book, there had been some loss, both in love and also literally. And the ladies, their businesses have grown leaps and bounds. There has been some input in there, kind of like the BMV Gang Network. There's been some input in there where, one sister has provided a platform for another sister in order to help that sister's business grow, and then that has morphed into something else. It's almost showing how the trickle-down effect, even though all the drama is surrounding the story, in the professional realm, is showing how over time that you'll see that they each have grown into different things. Personally, we know that there was a huge issue in the first series with dealing with Victoria and Sade's background and childhood. And if you haven't read it, I'm definitely not a spoiler giver, so I won't give that away. But there were some serious issues going on with that. And while they thought everything would be handled and finally they could move forward, there were some unfortunate breakthroughs in the sequel that came about. So the ladies have moved across country. They have broadened their businesses. They have moved into property. So many different things are going on. And now with the third one, we are dealing with Cher's story and her background and dealing with finding out who she really is.
Got it.
So it's kind of like a little bit of a whole lot of everybody morphed into four main characters.
Creating a space like this for creatives is important because a lot of us don't know how to engage with other writers. We're naturally introverted. Sometimes we get writer's block, and we need to connect with one another, feed off of each other's energy, and see what we can get from that. Because sometimes creating, you gotta reattach yourself to the world, attach yourself to other people like yourself, and see what you guys can come up with. So every week, we gather creatives We get them to be vulnerable. We create these writing exercises and we challenge them to tap into parts of them that they haven't before. Every week, we join together at HQ Arvin, which is at 228 Arvin Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. We start at 7 p.m., so make sure you're there every week. Bring your journals, bring your laptop, and be ready to create and gather with your other fellow creatives.
Hey guys, sorry for that hiccup, everyone. We are back. Kai, I apologize for technical difficulties. I think you were explaining what is happening in regards to the third book.
Yes. So with I don't know if you can hear me or not.
You can jump right back in.
But with the second book, at the end of that, we're dealing with wedding bells. We've got some funerals going on.
Wow.
So the ladies are basically going to be deciding whether or not they're going to remain on the West Coast or come back to the East Coast. And in doing so, it's not going to deter the fact that their businesses are now bi-coastal.
Nice. That sounds interesting. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I'm so proud of you, Kai, just for, like I said, just manifesting what your visions are and just putting that down on paper and creating stories for us to enjoy. That process is just amazing. So, tell us a little bit about your journal, because I know that you have a journal, Write Your Thoughts journal.
Release your thoughts. Yes.
Yes.
Release your thoughts. And I guess I should have done that with my first book, Babies. I'm sorry. So what do we have here?
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
And
book 1 and book 2.
So the journal was created as a free write space. Again, like I said, I was always given writing as an outlet. So instead of it being a journal with a lot of topics or choices or ideas for you to write, my goal was for you to use this space. And I wrote a letter to the writers inside. And I really just wanted you to use this space to release your thoughts without the bias or judgment of who may not like what you have to say, to use the space to let your creativity out, whatever that is, to let your feelings out, whatever that may be, and to just breathe. Because sometimes you don't really have a person to talk to, or you're not sure how to approach people, but you can write your thoughts out and you can read them out loud. You can let them sit there, let it manifest. At the end of the day, that's something no one can take from you. It's yours. And that's a space where your voice can be heard, even if it's you trying to hear yourself.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that, it speaks for who you are too, Kai, just to once again with your Bleeding Ink, Safe Haven and Creators Haven, it just goes with that whole concept of you welcoming people to just let their creativity be free. I think that we experience enough guidelines in life, already everywhere else. So I think that, that's just really refreshing. And I love your brand, and what it stands for. Can you tell us a little bit about the ocean vibe? Because we can't help but notice when we visit your page, guys. And by the way, we will have her share her contacts and her page before she goes. But if you go to her page, you can definitely feel the vibes. So tell us a little bit about the branding and the vibes that you have with the water.
It's my happy place. So me, and I haven't been to the beach that much lately, but me going to the beach and just sitting there and writing or thinking and doing my work, even if I can't get there, going to the pool, water for me is calming. It's peaceful. It's a space where I can just be and do me and get what I have to get done and get my thoughts out. It's a lot easier for me. It's my creative space. And I think we all have it. So for me, if I can get there, I go. It makes me happy. And so I morph that into, it's just who I am. So the
Yeah.
company is like my shirt. I don't even know if you can see it, but it's my Bleeding Ink shirt. And my Bleeding Ink page, my website, everything has some semblance of ocean blue in it. So it's
Yeah.
part of me. It's my piece. So
Yeah.
I bring it to work.
Yes, and we can feel it. We can feel it. And I think that is so necessary, especially for people who are looking for writing help.
Mhm.
If they're looking for coaching or things like that, it's always a great asset to feel welcomed, or to feel like this person is not going to try to turn you into someone else when you leave. So that's great. What do you have coming up with the Ocean View Journal? What can we look forward to there? Just a sneak peek. I know you don't want to give a spoiler.
So I'm going to start a publication, the Ocean View Journal, and with
Yes.
that,
Congratulations.
thank you, love. With that, I am going to use it as a platform of exposure for authors and writers, creatives. I am going to provide a space for them to share their work. Um,
Okay.
I will be doing some interviews with certain authors and certain creatives in the realm that whatever I do or whomever I'm interviewing, my goal will be to provide some sort of additional knowledge that I can share with the readers and with the people that follow the OVP Journal, because I want to make sure that I'm providing another space of information and learning that people can pull from, and in the process, help them share their work.
Absolutely. It's the teacher in you, Kai. It's the teacher in you. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Making sure that people leave with more value, and not just the thing in their hand, but the knowledge in their mind for them to be able to apply it in the future. So I love that. Also, yes, we have someone say, can't wait for book 3. Me too. I'm there with you. Trust me, I'm there with you. Proud of my author daughter, waiting for that bestseller.
Hi,
Awesome.
Mom.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Absolutely. So I also wanted to touch on your journalism experiences. I see that you are producing stories for Woman to Woman Talk magazine, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love them. They are amazing. They deal with a lot of our a lot of important things that are happening
Mhm.
today, as well as a lot of great substance based entertainment things. So I love that. Tell us a little bit about your journey writing there.
Well, the editor in chief welcomed me with open arms, and I appreciated having a space where I could tell stories, real stories about women of color across the nation and internationally, in a space that was welcoming, unbiased, and seemingly always looking to find the good in situations, even when other publications or other entities may try to only adhere to sharing the negative. So I found it as a positive space. So that's why I enjoy writing for them.
Nice, nice, nice. And I think that anyone who writes from a journalistic voice, I think that should always be the objective. Although it's not, like you said, a lot of publications put out bad press and just bad news and things, or bad perspectives. But the power of journalism definitely gives you the chance to give a voice to other things and other people. So I love your versatility and all that you have spread your skills to do. You've written fiction books, you've written poetry, you've created a space for people to express their literary, creativity through your journal. You're creating this new publication platform. You have Bleeding Ink, where you're coaching and you're helping other writers. You are just amazing. So before you share your contacts, I really want to have you give some advice for aspiring writers, someone who basically has a million wonderful ideas, or who is very imaginative or creative, and they just don't know where to begin, what would you tell them? And they want to write a book.
I would tell them to start writing, period. You can't do anything until it's on paper. The structure of what that looks like, the editing side of what that looks like, that can come with the support or the help of having a coach or someone there to teach you the techniques. But if you don't just write, you will never write your story, period. So
Yeah.
the best advice I would give is to write it. For years, people will tell you that, they've had these ideas or stories in their head, and they're just going to get it written down. It's not going to happen until you finally start. And I would say maybe just start with a paragraph. Just start with whatever that is.
That's good,
in
Kai.
your mind.
That's
And then
good.
watch the paragraph grow. And as you keep going, just let it flow. Once you start, it's the hardest thing is to not stop and go back and fix. Just let it flow. And then when you get to a point where you think you're at somewhat of an end, then you can go back and look at it. But technique and all that stuff can come with time and with the proper coaching or support. In the beginning, the best thing I would say, if you want to do it, just do it.
Yes.
Start writing, and then find the individuals that you think can help you with that. Get a writing coach. Find the people that can help you get it done, but you have to start.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And what is your favorite, I guess, means of writing? Like, do you like the traditional handwritten method, or you prefer typing it out? Like, what's your platform suggestion? And this is all for new writers, because I know these are like simple, basic questions, but I can't tell you how many times I've come across people who won't ask these questions because they're so basic and minor. But I think they're really important to someone who's just starting.
For me, I do both. When it comes to my fiction, my books, I'm on the computer.
Okay.
If I come up with an idea and I'm not there, I will probably use voice prompt. So that should that
Okay.
should that should piggyback to, if I had a piece of advice. One, start writing. Two, never be anywhere where you cannot get your thought out. So that means be resourceful. Always have your journal in the car. Always have your phone where maybe you can just talk it into your notes. Have options, because what happens is the thought may be fleeting. And by the time you get to where you're going, you're like, oh, I think I wanted to write something down. You don't remember it. So that's important. For me, I use a computer when it comes to the actual books, but for poetry and just for writing, like individual thoughts, I like to write. So
Yeah.
I'm still pen to paper.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, it's a connectability thing, just kind of feeling those visions flow through your hand and onto the paper. There's something about that. So I can definitely resonate to that. It's just like reading paperback or hardback books as opposed to an ebook, or an
Right.
Audible. They're all pretty amazing, but obviously true book lovers and true lovers of literature, I know there's a lot of people who still very much value a good, hard paper book.
I love the art of turning pages.
Yes. I love it. So thank you so much. And before you go, definitely share with us, how can we find you? What can we do to connect if we want to purchase a book? How do we book services? Give us a rundown.
Okay, so my website is Bleeding Ink Creatives. That's Bleeding Ink INK Creatives with an S at the end.com. And you can purchase my material there on the website. And my IG platform is Kai_author, KI_author, and Ink Me BIC. So that's INKMEBIC. Both of those are my platforms on Instagram. And then I will be bringing the Ocean View Journal out soon as well. So that
Yes.
has gone live in my bio on Kai Author, and soon I will open it up to everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. We're looking forward to it all. I'm really excited and I appreciate having you on tonight. Everyone else, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions for Kai, you can definitely shoot it real quick. We have like another minute left. If you want to ask any questions real quick before she leaves. Other than that, we appreciate you. We thank you. And once again, this is The Conversation with AAMBC Inc. Great conversation. Thanks, Brittany. I look forward to more. Much success to you, Kai. Thank you. We love you too.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. Yes. Have a good night.
Good night.
It all starts with a spark. Like this thought or this vision in your head that gives you these ideas and these visions of who you want to be. And I can remember myself sitting in my room, writing in my journal about stories and characters of people I had no idea who they were. And I just knew that that's who I was going to be. I was going to write books. I was going to move to Atlanta and I was going to become this big time authoress. And I did that. I got the awards. I got the bestsellers list. I met some phenomenal people and I've helped other people dream out loud. I think that when it comes down to dreaming, it's more than about just getting it done. It's about having fun and enjoying life while you do it. So y'all dream out loud with me.